开心，那你就准备开始录。
好，
OK，
来开始喽。大家等到来哦，3、2、1，好，坐起。Hi everyone, we are Group 5. We are going to introduce the variable annuity and the equity index annuity. Next, next, and then we were going to introduce the variable annuity first. The definition of the variable annuity is you pay the premium and the periodically fees in a certain interval, and the insurance company will pay you back in a future date. And the payback will be lump sum or be a periodically payment. It is up to you. You can choose the payment. And the benefit is could help you meet the retirement and the long-term range goals. And it has a death benefit. The death benefit means you die before the insurance has started. So it's just like if your insurance contract is about 5 years, and it will happen in a periodic payment. So if you contract is 5 years and you die in first year, and the insurance company guarantee can pay you 4 years. So at this moment, you will get a 4 years lump sum paid. Next. Next. Okay. So the value of the variable annuity is floating because the value of the contract will vary depending on the performance of the investment option you choose. And because of the value is the option you choose, so the value of it has higher correlation with the overall economic, so it can avoid the inflation cost shrink of the asset. But here's the point, the value might decrease if the investment option you choose perform poorly, so you have to choose your option carefully. Okay, next is tax deferred. It means money paid by insurance company will not be taxed until you withdraw it. So you can transfer your money from one investment option to another, and the money of you transferred will not be taxed. And that's assume that you make $3 in this investment, so you transfer the $3 into another option. So the other option make $5, but the charge of the tax will be on the $3, not will be the $5 you make after the $3 make. Okay, next. And the two phases of the variable annuities. The accumulate phase is you make the purchase payment, which you allocate the number of the invest option. It's just like simply to say, it's just an option to choose. Okay, you have to notice that there are fee and charge periodically. It means the profit you make in this period is not the income you made. You have to minus the fee that insurance companies announce. And next is payout phase. You may receive your purchase plus investment income and gain as a lump sum payment or a periodically payment. It is up to you. You can choose the payment. Next. And there is a variable on annuity charge. First one is a surrounding charge. Surrounding charge means you want to withdraw the money over the insurance company paid you. So it's just like you want $5, but the periodically payment by the insurance company is $3. So in this moment, you will pay a fee named surrender charge, and the surrender charge is usually performed as a percent of your premiums, and the percent of it will be declined year by year. And the next is a mortality and expense risk charge. It means the charge is equal to certain percentage of your account. It is compensated for the insurance company's risk of this contract. And the next is the administrative fees. The insurer may deduct charge to cover record keeping and other administrative expense. Next. Okay, who is suitable for the variable annuities? The first of all is the long-term investment. So if you want to make long-term investment, the variable annuity is fit for you because it can be help you to meet the long-term goals. And if you are short-term purchaser, the variable annuity is not for you because the variable annuity is substantial tax and the surrender charge may apply if you withdraw your money earlier. Okay, next is against inflation. People who don't want inflation cause the shrink of the assets is suitable for this contract because the investment option you choose has very high correlation with the overall economic and the interest rate is floating by your option. So if you are worried about the shrink of the assets, you can buy the contract and against the inflation. Okay, next one.
All right. Next, let's take a look at one of the US top insurance company, which is called Pacific Life. And this company have a variable annuity, and let's see why should we choose it. There are 4 points. The first one is that your grow retirement savings will be faster through the power of tax deferral. The second one is you can manage your investment strategy by transferring among a broader selection of options. So your portfolio will be broader. The third one is convert your assets to protect the lifetime income. And the last one is leave a financial legacy through a protected beneficiary benefit. Next one. Now, let's see what are the benefits. The first one is that we can address cost concerns with a longer investment time. The second one is develop an investment allocation that fits based on each of the individual's needs. The third one is that guarantee that we'll have retirement income that we cannot outlive. Next page. Now let's take a look at the company's insurance policy. The first one is that for their mortality and expense risk fee, it is 0.95%, administrative fee is 0.25%, and they have an annual contract fee of $50, which will be waived if the value is $50,000 and above. And for those that are unqualified, you need to pay $10,000, and for those that are qualified, you will only need to pay $2,000. And they have two investment options. First one is focus on asset allocation. The second one is the individual investment option. Next page. Let's see the death benefits of this insurance company. They have the standard death benefit where upon death, the beneficiary will receive the death benefit. The second one is stepped up that benefit where for an additional annual fee of 0.20%, it offers a greater of the standard debt benefit. And the last one is earnings enhancement debt benefits, EEDP, which provide an enhancement to the beneficiary benefit payouts for an additional annual fee of 0.25%. Next page. Next page. Okay. Now let's see the pros and cons of variable annuity. For the pros, we have investment growth potential. So it has a great opportunity for investment growth. The second one is tax deferred growth, where it has a potential for compound growth, and that benefit, which guarantees that each of the individual will receive higher account value. And the last one is customization, which each of the policies can be tailored to each individual's needs. Next page. Now let's see the cons of variable annuity. The it has high fees, and these fees includes management fees and administrative charges. They have a risk upon market risk, where they are prone to getting losses due to performances. And the third one is complexity, which they have a complex financial products. And the last one is liquidity reduction, where it has surrender charges. Next page.
Okay, next I'm going to introduce you another kind of annuity, which is equity index annuities. So what is equity index annuity? It is a hybrid product that contains features of both fixed and variable annuities. Like a fixed annuity, it guarantees that the account value will not drop below your initial investment. The term floor is commonly used to describe the limit of return for investors, regardless of the performance of the market. Like a variable annuity, it provides for compounded tax-deferred growth that is based on an increase in the underlying investments, typically the S&P 500. And how do they work? Similar to other kinds of annuities, equity index annuities also have their own accumulation period. During the period, investors make premium payments in installments or in a lump sum, and the insurance company credits you with a return based on changes in that index. There are two steps involved in determining the interest rate. First is the calculation of return based on the index. Second is limiting the return. Each steps have three different methods. Okay, next page. Here are three formulas to determine the changes in the equity index level that interest payment are calculated from. First is the annual reset method, which is the most common one. It takes the difference from the beginning of the first year of the contract to the end of the first year, and the end of each subsequent year will become a new starting point. Second is the point-to-point method. It is very similar to the first method, but it determines an index performance by comparing 2 points in time, and the time period differ from contracts, usually 1 to 2 years. Third is the high water mark method. It calculates the return by taking several points during a 12-month period and then uses the highest mark to compare the previous year to the next. Okay, next page. Here is the comparison between those methods. Annual reset method is beneficial when the index experiences a severe downturn during any given year because not only do you not lose accumulation value from the downturn, but the new starting point for future growth calculation is the lower index value. Point-to-point method can maximize its efficiency if the index experiences a decline before rising again. High watermark method is used when the market experiences significant volatility. Okay, next page. After talking about how to calculate the return of an index, there are still some limiting factors for the return. First is the participation rate. You need to multiply the original index return by the participation rate to obtain the final return. Second is cap. It is the most profit you can earn from the annuity, which means if the cap is 15% and even the index had a 20% return, you could only earn a 15% return for the annuity. Third is spread. It is the subtraction of the original index return. For example, if the spread is 5% and the index return is 20, the final return of annuity will be 15%. And in return for accepting limited profits, just like what I've just mentioned earlier, investors receive protection against downside risk. Equity index annuity usually have a floor for return or a guarantee of at least breaking even each year. Next, our teammate will give some example for this kind of annuity.
Okay, I will introduce the insurance policies that called Athens Performance Elite Sevens. It is a fixed index annuity with a 7-year contract terms, and it is designed for accumulations, not for lifetime incomes. And we can divide it into uncapped crediting options and capped crediting options. But first, in uncapped crediting option is BNP Paribas Multi-Asset Diversified 5 Index. And second, the Nasdaq FC Index. Third, AI Power US Equity Index. And fourth, S&P 500 Daily Risk Control 2.8% Index in total return. So exclude that the capped crediting options is S&P 500 using an annual point-to-point. So what is the point-to-point annuities? That is a commonly used fixed index annuity crediting methods. But what I mentioned will be that 2-year point-to-point is always a better crediting rate than annual point-to-point annuities that last a longer times. For latter strategies, it helps you to minimize interest rate risk by purchasing multiple annuities with durations 1 year apart from each others, e.g., 5-year annuity later, which means each year 1/5 of the investment matures and becomes liquid. So this has been mentioned before, so I will just skip it. Here, 2-year point-to-point uses the index values from 2 points in 2 consecutive parts. So this 2-year point-to-point annuities limits the effects of volatilities between these 2 points. So the hypothetical rates indicated assume a 50-50 allocations using the Nasdaq FC and Apex annual point-to-point options. So they also backtested these two options separately to see how these strategies perform individually. The Nasdaq FC index would have the performance at an average annual rate of 5.68% over the last 10 years. The Apex index, the first ever AI-powered US equity index, showed an average annual rate of 4.68% over the same most recent 10 years period. So for the pros and cons, for pros, first, the above average hypothetical historical rate of returns that is mentioned before. And the second, unique with charge option that provides higher participation rate. That when the depots want take more charge frees and they can have a higher participation rate. So third, uncapped crediting options available on 4 of the index that before I have said that excludes the S&P 500. So for the cons, the first, index and crediting strategies may seem confusing to clients and advisors alike. Maybe some elders or some people that they are not understanding this kind of indexed annuities. So second, surrender charge for withdrawals in excess of 10%. Annual free with withdrawal amounts that during the 7-year contract periods. For third, potential 10% RS penalties on withdrawal prior to age 59. So when you before you're 59 years old, when you want to withdraw this, you need to pay a penalty fees. So I like the ability to purchase a higher participation rate for fee. That is something we had not seen in any other index annuities at this time, this annuity launched. So the historical rates of returns are superior to almost all other 7 years fixed index annuities available to date. So if your objective is safe accumulations, I say the Ethan performance Elite 7 definitely warrants considerations. And I want to talk about premium waivers. This is an insurance policy clause that waives premium payments if the policyholder becomes critically ill, seriously injured, or physically impaired, that they cannot afford the premiums. So policyholders may want to purchase a waiver for the life insurance premiums if they are concerned about staying in financial health if they are injured on the job. Okay, let's work on the next presenters.
Okay, next page, thank you. Concluding this analysis, firstly, in terms of their characteristics, variable annuity aim to combat inflation by offering stable purchasing power. They provide policy holders with various investment options, allowing them the freedom to choose based on their risk aversion. Insurance company allocates premium into separate account, distributing investment dividends to policyholders. The policyholders assume investment risk while the insurance company takes on the variability risk associated with the mortality and expense rate. The most distinctive aspect compared to mutual funds is that during the insurance period, in the event of the policyholder's death, the insurance company guarantees a minimum death benefit. Okay, we talk about about equity index annuity. Their return rate fluctuates in accordance with major market indices, with the S&P 500 being the most common benchmark. A portion of the earned interest is guaranteed as a minimum interest rate, usually between 1% to 3% of 90% of the premiums paid. Additionally, they offer diverse interest crediting methods, including participation rate, caps, and spreads, making them a relatively conservative option for investors with a higher risk aversion. Okay, next page. Let's see the common drawbacks of both. High fees and expenses, risk, risk of loss due to performance, and penalties such as surrender charge. Okay, next page. Okay, who might consider purchasing a variable annuity? Based on the characteristic of variable annuity, the target audience include individuals seeking investment return with a need for security, low with investment interest and risk tolerance, and individuals wishing to safeguard against declining purchasing power of fixed pensions. Lastly, a potential customers based on represented in a different color are current mutual fund investors. Variable annuity are highly akin to mutual funds, but with added security due to the guaranteed minimum death benefit. Okay, next page. Similarly, who might consider purchasing an equity index annuity? According to a feature of index annuity, suitable customer would be moderately conservative investors, individual understanding complex financial product and willing to bear risk, and those seeking retirement plans and security. Okay, next page. In summary, thank you for watching our report.